power struggles in ancient China varied by dynasty. It was quite different from what some TV dramas show. Generally, the later the dynasty, the more peaceful the imperial harem became. The earlier dynasties saw much fiercer struggles. Let's talk about power struggles in the imperial court. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, imperial power was highly centralized. The imperial harem was more like the compound of some companies. Small conflicts still exist, but on the surface, everything was peaceful and harmonious. At that time, the emperor could make decisions on most matters alone, so there was no real need to fierce struggles. In some TV dramas, the female lead often says things like, "I hope to be with the emperor forever, with our hearts linked. Don't worry, I'm here for you." But if you checked the 24 histories, you'll find very few imperial concubines like this, fewer than those who received the 9 awards, a top honor in ancient China. Women in the harem grew up with teachings about female virtues. They were used to the system where one husband had one wife and multiple concubines. All their interests depended on just one man, the emperor, and there were not many benefits to fight for. So they didn't need to struggle against each other. On the contrary, when the benefits from struggles became extremely large, people would fight fiercely. Such fierce struggles only happened when the harem was closely connected with the imperial court. The most typical examples were the Han Dynasty and the Wei-Jin southern and northern dynasties. Among these periods, the eastern Han Dynasty and the northern Wei Dynasty saw the cruelest power struggles. The East Han Dynasty's harem was almost the bloodiest. Except for a few empresses who ruled well, the other 7 empresses had so much blood on their hands. The most famous of these was Empress Dou during the reign of Emperor Zhao of Han Dynasty. Her father was Dou Xun. Her family was a descendant of Empress Dou Yifang of the Western Han Dynasty under Emperor Wen. But her family fell into decline during her father's time because of court struggles. Her mother, Princess Yang, was the granddaughter of Emperor Guangwu Liu Xiu and his deposed Empress Guo Shengtong, and the eldest daughter of Liu Qiang, the deposed Crown Prince, also known as Prince Donghai. In August 77 AD, Dou and her younger sister went to the Changde Palace with their mom. Emperor Zhang fell in love with Dou at first sight. A year later, he made this young woman his empress. The Eastern Han Dynasty had a complicated situation. Liu Xiu, the founder of the Eastern Han Dynasty, could restore the Han Dynasty's glory mainly because he got support from powerful local families. So, the Eastern Han Dynasty was more like a big stage where local powerful clans gradually formed and fight against each other. During Emperor Zhang's reign, the most powerful person in the harem was Empress daughter Ma, but Emperor Zhang was not her biological son. His real mother was noble lady Jia. Emperor Zhang was raised by Empress daughter Ma since he was a kid, so they had a good relationship at first. However, after Emperor Zhang ascended the throne, Empress daughter Ma still made decisions on major state affairs. Empress daughters handling state affairs was a tradition passed down from the early Western Han Dynasty. So, the Eastern Han Dynasty also kept this tradition. As time went on, even the best mother-son relationship would have conflicts, especially when imperial power was involved. Luckily, they were not biological mother and son, so they didn't break their faces in public. They only competed secretly, and this competition showed in the emperor's harem. Before Empress Dou entered the palace, Emperor Zhang's favorite concubines were the Song sisters. The Song family was not a powerful clan. The sisters could enter the palace only because they had Empress daughter Ma's support. Noble Lady Song, the elder sister, was the grandniece of Empress Ma's family. With this connection, the Song sisters became frequent visitors to Emperor Zhang's bedroom. The elder Song sister gave birth to Liu Qing, the emperor's third son. This Liu Qing was very important. In 79 AD, when Liu Qing was only 1 year old, he was made the crown prince. Just 1 month before that, Dou, whom we mentioned earlier, was made Empress. So what was the connection between these two events? It was a big one. The decision to make Liu Qing crown prince was not Emperor Zhang's idea. It was Empress daughter Ma who forced it through. The newly made Empress Dou was not the crown prince's biological mother. Empress daughter Ma knew she was dying. She forced the decision to make Liu Qing crown prince to ensure her family's prosperity would continue. Not long after Liu Qing became crown prince, Empress daughter Ma passed away. She had planted a big mine for Emperor Zhang. It was hard for an empress and a crown prince who was not her biological son to live in peace. And Empress Dou was not someone to be trifled with. Soon after, Liu Qing became crown prince. He adopted Liu Zhao, the emperor's fourth son, whose biological mother was noble lady Liang, as her own son. This was a special move. An empress without children and a concubine's son, who had no right to inherit the throne, were closely tied together. This move was obviously approved by Emperor Zhang. It was like the Russo-Japanese War. Outsiders could see the truth clearly. This big mine exploded soon after. In 82 AD, Emperor Zhang received a report from someone. It said that noble lady Song was involved in witchcraft, using dolls to curse people. The Liu family, the imperial family, was very sensitive to this kind of thing. Emperor Wu Liu Che was a typical example of this sensitivity. What made Emperor Zhang even angrier was that the doll curse was not aimed at himself. It was aimed at his Empress Dou. Emperor Zhang immediately took action. He ordered to depose Liu Qing as crown prince and made Liu Zhao, Empress Dou's adopted son, the new crown prince. At the same time, he ordered a strict trial of the Song sisters who were accused of witchcraft. The person in charge of this trial was no original person. He was Cai Lun, the eunuch who improved the paper-making process, a figure mentioned in Chinese school history textbooks. Cai Lun was good at making paper, but he was also good at doing evil. After receiving hints from Empress Dou, he didn't waste time. He confirmed that the Song sisters were guilty of witchcraft. In the end, the two sisters were killed. At this point, Empress Dou and her adopted son Liu Zhao seemed to have reached the top of the harem. But Liu Zhao had no idea that the next person to suffer would be his biological mother, noble lady Liang. The Liang family was not of low status. Noble lady Liang's grandfather was Liang Tong, a great general who helped found the Eastern Han Dynasty. In terms of status, Liang Tong was second only to Dou Rong, a leader of the Hexi group, a powerful force at that time. Like the Song family, the Liang family also sent two women into the palace, the Liang sisters. In the same year, when Empress daughter Ma made Liu Qing crown prince, the elder Liang sister gave birth to Liu Zhao, who later became Emperor He. After Emperor Zhang fought against his stepmom, Empress daughter Ma, and finally made Liu Zhao crown prince, the Dou family didn't say anything, but the Liang family was overjoyed immediately. Noble lady Liang's father couldn't hold back his excitement at home. He secretly held a small celebration to mark his grandson becoming crown prince. This matter soon reached Empress Dou's ears. She was furious. Did I work so hard just to raise a child for a family? She thought. This is like Hiroshima being bombed at the US in 1945. Totally taken advantage of. Empress Dou acted immediately. She had the Liang sisters and their father Liang Song killed. She successfully secured her long-term meal tickets, her status in the harem. This bloody conflict was not just a simple palace struggle. It was the result of fighting between several powerful families in the Eastern Han Dynasty. These families would later take revenge on the Dou family for the killings. But Empress Dou also fell into a curse of Eastern Han empresses. She had no biological sons. So, when Emperor He Liu Zhao ascended the throne, he took power from his cruel adoptive mother without hesitation. All of Empress Dou's brothers were killed. She was forced to live in retirement. We must remember that in the Han Dynasty, if an empress held power, her family would rise to great heights. When it came to the Northern Wei dynasty, the rulers were afraid of the harem's power, so they made a cruel rule: keep the son, kill the mother. This meant that if a concubine's son was chosen as the heir, the concubine would be killed. But even with this rule, there still appeared powerful figures like Empress daughter Feng. This shows the nature of power struggles. When the emperor could not make all decisions alone, he needed to rely on external forces. In such cases, the power of imperial in-laws, the empress's family, would take advantage of the gap and become arrogant. This was when power struggles became extremely cruel, and the Eastern Han Dynasty was a typical example. However, when history entered the Qing Dynasty, especially the reigns of emperors Kangxi, Yongzheng, and Qianlong, the emperor had absolute authority. People in the harem became obedient. Even the families of these concubines did not dare to cause trouble in front of the emperor.